Unlocking transformation, business performance improvement requires securely employing software and data at scale and with speed across the enterprise IT landscape. We have that today in the form of the cloud or cloud computing. And while individuals and small businesses will likely find cloud adoption relatively straightforward, for businesses of a certain size and sector, the requirements are higher and the conditions far more complex. Consider a financial institution that wants to reap the elasticity and utility model of cloud computing. The company will more likely have systems and processes that are hardwired to legacy applications. For these businesses, data gravity, security, and regulatory requirements, and the cost and complexity of mission-critical application migration, the move to the cloud is no walk in the park. Likely because of issues such as national data sovereignty, data must stay in traditional data centers, but applications can certainly be housed in the cloud. And with many innovations around, the operational benefits of renting software as a service makes for a compelling use case. But before you jump the gun, if you haven't done so already, be aware that a third of cloud migration projects fail. A McKinsey research in 2021 revealed that 75% of cloud migrations ran over budget, while 27% ran behind schedule. To help us better understand and appreciate the complexity and enormity of the challenge, we caught up with Craig Fulton, Senior APAC Leader, Hybrid Cloud Transformation at IBM Consulting.
Our topic for today is mastering the art of integration. Now, Craig, in your perspective, what are organizations' expectations when it comes to the cloud? And from your experience dealing with customers around the region, is there a unified set of expectations, something people always associate when it comes to cloud, including their awareness? And are these realistic, actually? More importantly, are they realistic?
Okay. I think people have got different expectations of cloud. I think they started with cost out, agility, developer productivity, so very technology-focused expectations. I think as people matured, they've looked at the business innovation, the revenue generation, and building on top of cloud. Are those expectations real? They're starting to become real. There is definitely generating business value as they get closer to business strategy. That is exponential. So it's times 13% if you do it the right way. And the key is you need to do it the right way.
Now, analysts tell us that there will always be applications that will stay on premises or outside private clouds, or inside private clouds. For companies that choose to have a hybrid, even multi-cloud setup, looking at it from the complexity of managing the infrastructure, is it worth taking a hybrid cloud approach?
Okay. I think it's worth taking a hybrid cloud approach as we stand today anyway. Whether all applications will end up in some kind of public cloud, I think is unreasonable based on IoT sensors and wherever we look at where cloud is actually going to be, cars, sensors, etc. So there's always going to be that example. The hybrid multi-cloud approach at the moment allows you to get cloud capabilities by integrating multiple clouds. We've gone from everyone saying single cloud to now multi-cloud to now people are on average 10 to 15 clouds. The key is to build your integration layer and allow you to manage all of those environments in the same way, same security model. An architecture that allows you to have a single pane of glass, allowing you to develop in the same way and deploy anywhere. So I think if you get the aspects correctly, you architect it correctly, and you deploy it that way, then it simplifies it. If you just randomly create multi-hybrid cloud environments, then everyone is going to be different, and managing that is going to be very complex and difficult. So you need to plan ahead and understand where you want to get to.
If I could interject to that, in your dealings with a lot of customers in the region, when you approach them the first time, is it they already have a structured idea of what a hybrid multi-cloud is, or is there a significant amount of education awareness you need to imbibe with them or share with them in order for them to understand the complexity of the issue at the same time how for them their own discovery of their own infrastructure, how it's really much more complex than we thought it was?
I think I find people don't really understand it and haven't really thought of their environment as hybrid multi-cloud. they've generally got one primary hyperscaler and they think they're single cloud. And then they've got a number of SaaS applications that automatically make them multi-cloud. And the majority of their environment is still on-premise. And they pick niche clouds for specific things like data analytics. And when you explain to them that that means you're actually hybrid multi-environment, but not necessarily a hybrid multi-cloud, because you haven't tied all of that together, because their expectation is they're going to move to one environment, not realizing coexistence is going to be for some time until they move everything, if indeed that's possible.
Oh, that's the other thing, if indeed it's possible. Okay, interesting. Now, for those that do choose this path of hybrid multi-cloud, what should they be ready or prepared for as part of their journey?
I think one important thing is people and skills. I think people who've moved from an on-premise environment or to a cloud environment are concentrating a lot on the cloud skills, but they're losing a lot of the complex skills they needed for their environment and the business skills because everything's easy in the cloud. So they're losing some of that expectation of resilience and availability and those sort of things because the cloud provider does it. But in a hybrid environment, a large part of their environment still requires that. I think architecting it up front and then moving incrementally to get there, for me it's a bit like Google Maps. I plan where I'm going, I plan the way I'm going to get there, but as I start my journey, it changes almost immediately and I get rerouted. So that's kind of how the strategy needs to work. You need to know where you're going, you need to start and incrementally move and adjust as the markets, as your company adjusts. I think security has to be built in from the beginning because it's a different approach to security. Operations needs to be considered. You need to look at your ecosystem of partners because it's unlikely that any company can do this on their own. So pick the specialists and the niche partners you need to help you with your strategy and execute. And if you do that, you've got a better chance of success, a quicker chance of success, and it will be more cost effective as well.
Interesting, fair enough. Now, drawing from your team's experience locally or in this region, helping enterprises make that transition to a hybrid multi-cloud, what are key lessons to take into consideration?
I think the initial key lesson is, again, work closely with your business strategy. Do cloud for a reason. It's there to enable your business strategy. It's not there for technology's sake. So that would be number one. Number two would be plan that journey and optimize that journey. So don't just start and move things without understanding the implications of what you're doing, because that's where I see people stall a lot. And don't underestimate the complexity and the change that you need to make culturally to get the benefits out of the new environment that you're building and actually drive business benefit, including revenue growth, not just take cost out.
If I were to add one more question to this, now in almost any journey as complex as this, there needs to be a set of people or even one leadership that guides it. Is it the CTO, CIO, combination of the infrastructure leaders and all that? What types of resources, skill sets, expertise needs to come together in order to help facilitate this journey, make it as smooth and as non-disruptive as possible, if that's at all possible?
Again, I've actually found two different approaches. One is a lot of the innovation side of things seems to be funded by business type CIOs or business technologists who are not part of technology. And that's a sort of outside in, product driven, very business driven approach. So plan it from there down. The other one is it's very technology driven and it's more the cloud center of excellence. It's doing it the right way. It's building platforms. Those two need to meet in the middle. For me, it's plan it top down and build it bottom up, because you need the foundations before you can start moving quickly from a product perspective, but you need to know what you're building for. You don't build a building that's a skyscraper and then realize it was underground garage you needed. So you need to understand where you're going and what you're trying to build, and then you can build it bottom up.
Certainly, that's quite enlightening. Thank you very much, Greg, for helping us better understand what cloud migration looks like from a multi-hybrid environment.
Thank you for having me.